Hi, I'm Steve. This is our 2017 three-headed deer decoy. Really happy with the way this one turned out. It's got the removable antlers, so you'll have a doe or a buck decoy this year. This decoy is made out of corrugated plastic, which is tough material. We hand paint them. Everyone's not the same. You're going to vary a little bit just because it's our idea of how do you use animation to create a deer decoy. So you've seen the video. I want to show you a little bit about how you set them up and how this all kind of works. So this is how they come to you in the mail. We send them all pre-assembled. It's going to come right out of the box looking like this. It's a fold-up decoy. So we got this little here just to open it up. So in there you're going to find 4 stakes. Got 3 short ones, 1 long one. They're not all necessary all the time. This one here is the main stake. It's about 30 inches long and it's just the size of an arrow, so this will fit right in your quiver. Same size, 5/16, about 30 inches long, so that's kind of nice to be able to just put that in the quiver spot. So that's our main stake. We're just going to shove it in the ground. I like shoving it well into the ground and then pull it back up a little bit. And you got a little room to adjust it, but it goes into the ground pretty good, depends on your ground. The decoy, it's got 3 legs, 3 faces. They unfold just like that, jackknife. Now on the front, this is just a gauge, and it shows you where you want to have these 2 sides, and it just sits like that, so that's your gauge on how wide it is, and a couple little flaps there. That's sort of the gauge, and it does hold it in its correct position, but the legs would have, just as much effect on holding it in that position. So then you're going to slide it on the pipe there like that, and it'll stay there under some conditions. Of course, wind is going to be the biggest factor with your decoys. So I might adjust it a little bit like that. Now, you can set it up square looking like that. You can set it up a couple different ways. Even though it doesn't seem right, sometimes just putting a leg out like that makes the decoy appear different. One of the things I'll do is I'll maybe lean it a little bit, stick a foot down just so it doesn't have to be perfectly standing up, because every time in different angles it's going to look differently. And that's all part of the animation part of it. Now what you have is basically 6 different faces on this. And that's to create the animation, the videos you've been seeing out there on Twitter and YouTube. There's actually 6 faces. So it'll sit there under most conditions. There's a little breeze here today, not much at all. Having it be a doe like this, the antlers, they create a little more wind resistance, so it's a little different with a buck. So these other stakes, the 3 short ones, you don't necessarily need all the time. But under windy conditions, they're just intended to go right through the leg here. They just slide. This is a double leg. It makes this decoy pretty tough, where it's got the double leg, and you can just slide that stake in there, right in between them. And under most conditions, that's just pretty stable like that. But you don't always need those 3 stakes. You're going to know what kind of morning you got or evening and the winds. One of the other things you can do here on this decoy I'll show you, instead of using the stakes, if you're out in the brushy area like this, what I do a lot of times, I just grab vegetation and pull it through like that. It doesn't affect the look of the decoy. You can just kind of stabilize it like that just by pulling some vegetation through that. That'll go a long way. One thing I didn't show you is the antlers here are interchangeable. So they just come out and we can put them on this one here. They just go down the flutes. This is corrugated plastic, so it's got flutes all the way through it. So they just slide in like that. Like that. I tried to make it so you can do this kind of in the dark. You can feel them pretty good, pretty easy. I probably wouldn't recommend you putting them in when you leave your truck and walking through the field with them. If you want, just glue them in. Then, you know, if that's what you want to buck all the time, it's up to you. So that's pretty much our setup on the decoy here. When it's really windy, I just like pinning it right down like this. You can do a couple other things. Just use 2 stakes maybe. Bend it out like that. And even though it looks a little funny to you here, if you kind of look around a little bit, different angles, different ways, you can do a lot of different things with this hinged leg. A lot of different looks. And all you archers out there to show us how to use it this year. So good luck.